You're watching Republic.
Hello and welcome. You're watching 6 Stories at 6. I am Fenisha Avasthi. On this edition, we get you the stories that set the agenda for the day. First up, a young pilot, Siddharth Yadav, has lost his life in a Jaguar jet crash. Is it time for the aging Jaguars to now retire? Is the question that Republic is asking. In Karnataka, a woman was molested on streets of Bengaluru, but Karnataka Home Minister said that incidents like these happen here and there. There is huge uproar over that remark. Now, meanwhile, it is Black Monday with global markets hitting a nosedive, and we'll get you an expert opinion on what should the investors do next. Also on the show, there is an endless war over Waqf after anarchy on streets. The Jammu and Kashmir Assembly witnessed chaotic scenes today with the NC MLAs going ahead and tearing the copy of the Waqf Amendment Act. In the state of West Bengal, there is a huge showdown over cash for jobs scam. While Mamata has vowed that she will be there for the sacked teachers, the BJP is asking for the chief minister's resignation. And finally, a shocking case of medical negligence comes to light from Madhya Pradesh's Damo, where a fake doctor performs 15 surgeries, and this, ladies and gentlemen, results in the death of about 7 patients. And we'll tell you how it is Republic, the only channel who has exposed the medical apathy. First up, let's start with our top story of the evening. Now, Flight Lieutenant Siddharth Yadav, the name that will go down in India's history. Now, a Jaguar fighter aircraft flyer, Siddharth Yadav, was killed in action on the 3rd of April. He assisted his co-pilot to eject to safety and then stayed on his crashing aircraft to maneuver it away from villages and crowded areas before going down with his Jaguar in Gujarat's Jamnagar. While the country mourns his irreparable loss and celebrates the bravery and selflessness of the true soldier that he was, this one is not an isolated incident. He was laid to rest with full military honors, and the Indian Air Force has said that the crash happened due to a technical malfunctions. The British-French fighter jet Jaguar was decommissioned by France, remember, in 2005 and the UK in 2007. But India continues to use the aircraft. Is it in fact one of the key combatants in India's air arsenal? However, till when will this go, and how many more brave lives will India lose before the government takes a decision on this?
Died serving the country and its air force. A former fighter pilot himself, the father of the departed flight lieutenant urged more fathers to send their wards to defend the country's borders.
So it's a part of his duty, and so it is painful for the father, but he was my only son. But he has lost for life for his country. That is proud for me.
Amid concerns around the aging British jets, Siddharth's father blamed his son's fate for the unfortunate accident.
We are fully operational, and we are capable of the fight with any force, any neighbors, our China or Pakistan. So we are very much capable of. But it was an incident. Some bird strike was there, bird hit, and we have lost my sons due to this engine seize. So I will not blame anybody for this.
He said that the Jaguar aircraft that his son was flying suffered a technical failure after a bird hit.
Actually, it is very painful for the father, but we are I have mentioned the generation, for the generation we are serving the army and air force. So let the people, somebody should go and serve the nation. It is definitely, ma'am, we have to secure our borders. So I have sent my son, it was his the hobby or the serve the nation. So he is gone, and it is unfortunate that we have lost him, but for the missions, he was on mission.
He asserted that the incident, while unfortunate, does not reflect poorly on the country's Air Force, which was equipped and able to meet all external threats to the national security. As another precious life is lost to a jet crash, it is time to heed calls for an urgent upgrade of the Air Force inventory.
Moving on to what's happening in the state of Karnataka. Now, this story from Karnataka's Bengaluru will fill your heart with anger and outrage. On your screen is the CCTV from April 3rd, 2025, nearly about 2 a.m. from a deserted street in Bengaluru. Shown in the CCTV is a girl who was groped, molested and harassed. Now watch carefully. The footage shows a man following a woman who was accompanied by another woman, grabbing and groping her before fleeing. The Karnataka police have launched an investigation examining the CCTV footage from the area. While no complaint has been filed by the victim, the police have now registered a motu case. This is after 4 days after the incident has happened. Now, amid outrage over a video in which a man is seen groping a woman in Bengaluru before running away, it is the Karnataka Home Minister G. Parameshwara's comment that will likely add to the public anger. Responding to questions over the shocking video, the minister in charge of law and order has said such incidents can occur in a big city like Bengaluru.
ನಾವು ನಾನೀಗಾಗಲೇ ಪ್ರತಿನಿತ್ಯ ನಮ್ಮ ಕಮಿಷನರ್ಗೆ ಪ್ರತಿನಿತ್ಯ ನಾವು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತೇನೆ, ಎಚ್ಚರಿಕೆಯಿಂದ ಇರಬೇಕು, ಬೀಟ್ಗಳು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಆಗಬೇಕು, ಮಾನಿಟರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಏರಿಯಾ ಕೂಡ ಪೊಲೀಸ್ ಪೆಟ್ರೋಲಿಂಗ್ ಏನಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಭಾಳ ಶಿಸ್ತಿನಿಂದ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಮತ್ತು ಭಾಳ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಆಗಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತೇಳಿ ದಿನನಿತ್ಯ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತೀವಿ. ಇಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಘಟನೆ ಆದಾಗ ಸ್ವಾಭಾವಿಕವಾಗಿ ಜನರ ಇದರಿಗೆ ಗಮನವನ್ನು ಸೆಳೆಯುತ್ತೆ. ಆದರೆ ಅಷ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಡೋದಿಲ್ಲಲ್ಲ. ನಿರಂತರವಾಗಿ ಪೊಲೀಸ್ ಇಲಾಖೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. 24/7 ಮಳೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ಚಳಿ ಇಲ್ಲ ಪೊಲೀಸ್ನವರು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಶಾಂತಿ ಇದೆ.
This comment has not very well went down, and now it is the BJP that has hit out at the Siddharamaya government over the incident. The opposition party has said that the viral video has exposed the reality of city's law and order situation and claimed that Bengaluru is becoming increasingly unsafe for women to live in.
महिलाओं का अपमान ये कांग्रेस की हो गई है पहचान. महिला सुरक्षा इनके लिए केवल एक राजनीतिक नारा है. लड़की हूँ लड़ सकती हूँ केवल एक राजनीतिक नारा है. और प्रियंका वाड्रा जी बताए कि जी परमेश्वर जी का इस्तीफ़ा वो कब मांगेंगी, कब पीड़ित के साथ जाकर वो खड़े रहने का काम करेंगी, कब उनका आउटरीच सिलेक्टिवली नहीं बल्कि महिलाओं पर होने वाले हर एक उत्पीड़न के मामले पर झलकेगा.
एक हफ्ता में कितना अत्याचार कर्नाटक में हुआ है एक बार आप देख लीजिए. भाई के साथ तो बहन जी बाहर जाएगा तो रेप होता है बेंगलुरु में. आप बस स्टैंड में बस के लिए रुका है तो गैंग रेप होता है. एक एनकाउंटर करो सब ठीक हो साफ हो जाएगा. यूपी में साफ किया है नहीं किया योगी जी, ऐसा कर्नाटक में करना करेगा तो सभी साफ होगा.
Joining me on the broadcast is Brinda Adige. She's a woman activist. Brinda, extremely outrageous incident that has come to fore from Bengaluru. What is more upsetting, what is more shocking is the comment by Karnataka Home Minister itself, who says that incidents like these happen here and there. Shocking case that's coming to light. Even a sumoto cognizance has not been taken in the case. The molester has not been arrested and it's been 4 days.
Security and safety of women is not a priority of any government anywhere in India. They do not consider this to be an important aspect that requires immediate attention. And that is why when we have elected representatives speak like this, it irks us and we are outraged that you can make such a callous, insensitive remark instead of condemning this crime that has happened on the streets of Bengaluru, saying that these things happen only emboldens perpetrators and sexual predators. Because that impunity increases again when a minister is speaking like this, I'm not going to get caught. So there is no fear of law. And you can always say, he kept making sentences and statements that I have told the commissioner to do this, I have told the commissioner. Direct and instruct the commissioner that patrolling must increase. Foot patrolling must increase. Policemen and women on cycles must increase so that there is some fear that is instilled that action will be taken against me. And we are a deeply patriarchal society. So even if a woman goes to make a complaint at the police station on such matters, police don't take it seriously.
Right, Brinda.
Maybe there is some reporting that is happening. And I also want to place on record that I completely disagree with Mr. C.T. Ravi's statement that encounters must happen. If encounters are supposed to happen, what about our constitution and rule of law and all the laws that have been made?
Absolutely.
The police and the justice system? I think we need to hold the state and the justice system accountable and say that swift and certain punishment must be meted out to perpetrators.
Absolutely. Brinda Adiga, thank you very much for joining us here on the broadcast. With that, we move on to the other stories that we are tracking now. The world today woke up to a financial bloodbath as on-the-edge markets saw a massive plunge that wiped out trillions of dollars amid an intensifying trade conflict between the United States and China. Now, the Sensex crashed by nearly 3,000 points. In fact, it went ahead to 4,000 in the evening. And the Nifty fell below the crucial 22,000 level, which wiped out lakhs of crores in investor wealth. Japan's Nikkei tumbled 7%, South Korea's Kospi fell 5%, and Hong Kong's Hang Seng crashed over 10.5%. Sensex and Nifty crashed over 5% in tandem with massive sell-offs across the board as United States President Donald Trump's tariff hike and retaliation from China fueled investors' jitters amid fears that full-blown trade war will impact economic growth across the globe. Joining me on the broadcast is Kishore Subramaniam. He's a financial expert. Kishore Subramaniam, there's no point crying over spilt milk now. The question that I want to ask you is, what is it next that the investors should do in this scenario?
Sorry, I couldn't hear your question. The audio was weak. Can you help me with the question again, if you don't mind?
Right. Kishore Subramaniam, my question to you is, what is it that the investors should do next now that the bloodbath has happened and it's the worst since the time of COVID?
Yeah. So good evening. First, the point we need to understand is that stock markets are used to such crashes. There is a looming fear that will we enter a bear market? The answer is a clear no. Are we decoupled from the world in totality? The answer is no. Is it going to be a cascading impact equivalent to China, European Union or any other country? The answer is no. India is in a very unique position. So in terms of our economy and GDP, the composition is such that only about 30-35% is dependent on exports, while 64% is domestic consumption. Out of the export bag, you need to understand that everything is not US export. We are a globally linked economy and we do export a lot of items to different parts of the world. Yes, US's impact will have impact on India too, and in terms of the markets, it will have an impact. So for an investor, there are 5 things he needs to remember. Number 1, short-term volatility is always an opportunity. Volatility is a friend and not an enemy. Number 2, if you have invested in the stock market and mutual funds through SIP, continue it. Number 3, avoid sensational news item, billions wiped out, market crashes, avoid them. Point number 4, do not try to time the market and you don't try to catch a falling knife, it's going to be problematic. And point number 5, keep your asset allocation safe. Don't jump into gold or any other asset just because you like it. Don't quit your positions. But for the trader, that's mayhem in the market and bloodbath. But over a period of 2 to 2.5 decades or 3 decades, one has seen this multiple times. So nothing to worry. The long-term economic growth and fundamentals as far as the macroeconomics is concerned looks extremely good. Investors, avoid news, avoid sensationalism, sit tight, sit quiet and stay the course.
Right, Subramanian, Kishore Subramanian, thank you very much for sharing those insights. We hope that the situation is normalized in coming days. We move on to the other stories that we're tracking. Now, from Kashmir to Kerala, opposition leaders and clerics continued to voice dissent against the centre's Waqf Amendment Act, threatening more street agitations. Now, chaos unfolded in Jammu and Kashmir Assembly after members of the National Conference and its allies protested against the enactment of the Waqf Amendment Bill and tore the copy of the contentious act into pieces. The legislators also protested Speaker Abdul Rahman's decision to reject their adjournment motion on the Waqf Amendment Act. Now, amid the ruckus in the Assembly over his refusal to adjourn the question hour to discuss the Waqf Amendment Act, it was adjourned for a brief period of about nearly 15 minutes. As the session began, opposition MLAs rose to demand a discussion on the recent amendments made to the Waqf Act, voicing concerns over the implications. Here's what happened.
The political pushback against Waqf reform continued unabated today. In the latest, a massive ruckus erupted in the Jammu and Kashmir Assembly over an adjournment notice for a discussion on the Waqf Amendment Act. The motion seeking an adjournment of the scheduled business to discuss the Waqf Act was tabled by the ruling National Conference MLA Tanvir Sadiq. The motion drew fury from the opposition benches, with the BJP members raising a ruckus. In dramatic scenes, the BJP members were seen holding up copies of the adjournment notice and raising slogans. Amid the furore, some members in the treasury were seen shredding copies of the Waqf Act, drawing a furious response from the BJP. In more visuals, members in the treasury and the opposition were seen getting into a fist fight as the showdown over the Waqf law peaked. However, the Assembly Speaker rejected the motion, citing pleas filed in the Supreme Court challenging the Waqf Act.
मेरे पास सुन लीजिए, नाउ ऑनरेबल मेंबरान की तरफ से एक एडजर्नमेंट मोशन आया, एक नोटिस आया हमें एडजर्न, हम उसको एडजर्न कर दीजिए और एक इम्पॉर्टेंट इशू को डिस्कस कीजिए.
The Speaker's decision, however, drew censure from some leaders.
We wanted to register our protest, but unfortunately the Speaker has disallowed the motion. But it's also that they are playing a fixed match. They are opposing BJP while they are also facilitating BJP's policy on ground. और आज इस बिल की अपोजिशन न करना इस साबित है कि जम्मू कश्मीर की गवर्नमेंट सबसे बड़ा कॉम्प्रोमाइज कर रही है on the issues of not just Kashmir but also the Muslim issues.
जम्मू कश्मीर की असेंबली में आज सबसे पहला ये बात आएगी, रेजोल्यूशन आएगी, जिस तरह ये वहीद पराज साहब ने एक रेजोल्यूशन लाया था कि हमारे वजीर आला जिनको लोगों ने यहाँ भरपूर ताउन दिया और उन्होंने वोट भी इसीलिए मांगा कि बीजेपी के एजेंडे को रोकना है, तो हमने सोचा था कि वो असेंबली में रहेंगे, ट्यूलिप गार्डन तो यहाँ चलता रहेगा, एक महीना ट्यूलिप गार्डन कहाँ भागे जा रहा है, तो वो वहाँ रहेंगे और इस बिल के बारे में खड़े होके बात करेंगे कि ये हमें कबूल नहीं है, जम्मू कश्मीर इसको कबूल नहीं करता.
Elsewhere in Kerala, a prominent body of clerics moved a writ petition disputing the constitutionality of the Waqf Act. Unfazed by the mounting dissent over the Waqf law, the BJP termed the protests as a direct assault on the parliament and the constitution.
अन्य राजनीतिक दल और विशेषकर जो राज्य चाहे तमिलनाडु या जम्मू कश्मीर जो कि इस बिल के विरोध विधानसभाओं में कर रहे हैं, यह दर्शाता है कि वह संविधान की भावना को ध्वस्त कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि संविधान के अनुसार संसद के द्वारा पारित किसी भी कानून के बारे में किसी राज्य विधानसभा को किसी भी प्रकार की विपरीत टिप्पणी करने का अधिकार नहीं है. इससे बहुत साफ हो जाता है कि देश की जनता के सामने कि संविधान किनके हाथों में खतरे में है और जम्मू कश्मीर विधानसभा में जिस प्रकार से बिल फाड़ा गया है, मैं कह सकता हूं कि यह संविधान की मूल भावना को तार-तार करने जैसा है।
Senior BJP leader RP Singh called for the digitization of all Waqf properties.
देखिए, जानबूझकर शरारतपूर्ण बात है। ना कोई ज़मीन हड़पी जा रही है, ना कोई ज़मीन कोई सरकार ले रही है, ना कोई भाजपा ले रही है। वह सिर्फ इतना ही है कि जो वक्फ की ज़मीन है वह खाते पे चढ़े, कहीं उसकी डिजिटाइजेशन हो, कहीं उसकी डॉक्यूमेंटेशन हो, एक, और दूसरा उससे आने वाली आय गरीब महिला और गरीब बच्चों के काम आ पाए।
As the Waqf protests spiral, will the opposition's bid to stall reform and transparency stand the scrutiny of the People's Court?
Joining me on the broadcast is Rashid Sharif. He is the president for South India Muslim Personal Law Board. Rashid जी, जो बिल था अब वो पास हो गया है, वो एक्ट मिल गया है, उसको प्रेसिडेंट्स की नॉड मिल गई है। अब प्रोटेस्ट करके क्या फायदा? और प्रोटेस्ट भी खैर छोड़िए, प्रोटेस्ट आपका हक है, बट जो स्ट्रीट एनार्की जो कर रहे हैं बहुत सारे ग्रुप, वो करके क्या फायदा, जबकि बहुत ही डेमोक्रेटिक प्रोसेस से ये जो बिल है वो पास हुआ था पार्लियामेंट में।
बिल्कुल पास हुआ है, मगर ये बिल आप बताइए कि अल्लाह की जमीन है, आप पार्लियामेंट में किस तरीके से पास कर? अल्लाह की जमीन है जो आप ऐसे वक्फ किए अल्लाह के नाम पे, और गरीबों के नाम पे, यतीमों के नाम पे, एसीरों के नाम पे, ये तमाम ये आपके पास मेंबर हो तो आप कुछ भी कर लेंगे पार्लियामेंट में, और हम एहतजाज नहीं करेंगे, 100% एहतजाज करेंगे। अब एक हम मस्जिद खोए, अल्लाह का घर खोए, ये जमीन नहीं खोएंगे इंशाल्लाह। आप देखिए ये बिल के बारे में पार्लियामेंट में जिस तरीके से पास होते ही है, तो आज यूपी में कब्रिस्तान, एक जनाजे को खबर में कब्रिस्तान नहीं लेके जाने दे रहे, कब्रिस्तानों पे जो चादर खींच रहे, मदरसे बंद करा दे रहे, ये क्या तरीका है? ये इसी के लिए इसलिए बिल पास करे थे कि मुसलमानों को टारगेट तो अब 11 साल से बनाए हुए, आगे भी इसी तरीके से और हिरास करेंगे और तकलीफ देंगे हमको। ये बिल पास हुआ है, ये वापस होना जरूरी है, क्योंकि अभी हमारे राष्ट्रपति मैडम के हाथ में है, और मैं हर हिंदुस्तान का मुसलमान ये चाहेगा कि मैडम इसको फौरी रिजेक्ट करे, वरना हिंदुस्तान बढ़ जाएगा, हिंदुस्तान के टुकड़े हो जाएंगे, हिंदू मुसलमान के फसाद हो जाएंगे। ये देखना चाह रहे हैं आप लोग? नहीं होना है ये बिल्कुल नहीं होना। भाईचारा है हमारे पास, और इंशाल्लाह हमेशा हिंदू मुस्लिम भाईचारा रहेगा। इसको हम बिल्कुल नहीं मानेंगे, और ये होने वाला बिल्कुल नहीं है। वापस लेना है, 100% वापस लेना है। मैडम ये बहुत हालात बिगड़ रहे हैं, आप देख रहे हैं, कौन मुसलमान खुश है, कौन हिंदू खुश है। अब हमारी ना आप बात करें, आप पार्लियामेंट में।
राशिद जी, हिंदुस्तान के टुकड़े तब होंगे जब रूमर्स को फैलाना बंद किया जाएगा, बल्कि ये जो बिल है बहुत ही संवैधानिक तरीके से पास हुआ है, इससे देश के टुकड़े तो बिल्कुल भी नहीं होंगे। बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया आपका हमारे साथ बने रहने के लिए। मूविंग ऑन टू द अदर स्टोरीज दैट वी आर ट्रैकिंग नाउ, द रूलिंग तृणमूल कांग्रेस received yet another blow to its battered reputation when the Supreme Court on the 3rd of April invalidated the appointment of over 25,000 teaching and non-teaching staff members. Now, these appointments had been made by a recruitment panel set up by the West Bengal School Service Commission. While on one hand, the BJP and the people who lost their jobs have launched protest against the Mamata Banerjee government, and specifically the Chief Minister is out to tell another story altogether. Now, Mamata Banerjee not just questioned the Supreme Court's decision, she has also cried conspiracy against the state's education system, hinting at the attempt to topple it.
যে হাইকোর্টের রায়টাকে স্টে করে দেওয়ার জন্য এবং তদানীন্তন বিচারপতি মিস্টার চন্দ্র, রেসপেক্টেড চন্দ্রজিৎ, আমাদের চন্দ্রচূড়জি, সেটাকে স্টে করে দেন। অর্থাৎ হাইকোর্ট থেকে যে ভবিষ্যৎটা অনিশ্চিত হয়েছিল, সেই ভবিষ্যৎটা তিনি নিশ্চিত করে দেন। তারপর আবার দেখলাম আরেকজন বিচারপতি এলেন, একজন প্রধান বিচারপতির একটা রায়কে আর একজন প্রধান বিচারপতি সম্পূর্ণভাবে যোগ্য অযোগ্য না দেখে বাতিল করে দিলেন। মনে রাখবেন, আমায় যদি কেউ চ্যালেঞ্জ করে, আমি কিন্তু চ্যালেঞ্জটাকে মোকাবিলা করতে জানি। আমি কোর্টকে বলছি না, এটা কোর্টের দোষ নয়, দোষ তো সেই মুখ আর মুখোশদের যারা আপনাদের নিয়ে খেলা করেছে, বাট আমি একটা কথা বলতে চাই, আমি বেঁচে থাকাকালীন যোগ্য প্রার্থীদের কারো চাকরি কেড়ে নিতে দেব না। ইট ইজ মাই কমিটমেন্ট। শিক্ষা ব্যবস্থাকে ভেঙে পড়ার জন্য, ভেঙে ফেলে দেওয়ার জন্য, শিক্ষা ব্যবস্থাকে ভেঙে ফেলার জন্য একটা চক্রান্ত চলছে, একটা পরিকল্পনা চলছে।
And moving on to the final story on this edition of 6 Stories at 6, a horrific case has surfaced from Damoha district in Madhya Pradesh. Now, at least 7 people died at the hands of Narendra Vikramaditya Yadav, who pretending to be a cardiologist and carried out surgeries on all 7 of these people. Now, this happened at the mission hospital run by Christian missionaries in Damoh district. While an FIR was registered in the case late last night, the National Human Rights Commission has also begun probe into the matter. Not just that, the Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh, Mohan Yadav, has also taken stock of the situation and has assured strict action into the case. Here's a report on how Republic has exposed the medical negligence.
मध्य प्रदेश के दमोह में मिशन अस्पताल के एक डॉक्टर ने भोले वाली जनता के साथ जानलेवा खिलवाड़ किया है। ये वही मिशन अस्पताल है, मिशन हॉस्पिटल है, जो कि मिशनरीज का हॉस्पिटल है। इसके डॉक्टर एन जॉन केम, जिनका की असली नाम नरेंद्र यादव बताया जाता है, उन्होंने अपने 2 महीने के कार्यकाल में करीब 15 ऑपरेशन किए। ये देखिए हॉस्पिटल है, मिशनरीज हॉस्पिटल ये है, और इसी में डॉक्टर नरेंद्र यादव जो यहाँ पर एन जॉन केम के नाम से काम कर रहे थे, 2 महीने में उन्होंने 15 ऑपरेशन किए इस हॉस्पिटल में, जिसमें दावा किया जा रहा है कि 7 ऐसे मरीज हैं जिनकी की मौत हो गई। परिजनों ने गंभीर आरोप लगाए, क्योंकि परिजनों का कहना है कि गलत इलाज किया गया, डॉक्टर के पास डिग्री नहीं थी, उसके बाद भी उसने हार्ट से संबंधित यहाँ ऑपरेशन किए, जिसकी वजह से 7 लोगों की जान गई। इसी हॉस्पिटल में ये पूरा घटनाक्रम हुआ है। यहाँ पर कोई हमें स्टाफ अभी दिख नहीं रहा, कोई बातचीत करने वाला यहाँ है नहीं। तो ये हम ग्राउंड रिपोर्ट आपको बता रहे हैं। ये पूरा हॉस्पिटल का आप कैंपस देखिए, यहाँ पर इतनी बड़ी प्रॉपर्टी है। यहाँ पर ये हॉस्पिटल जो मिशनरीज हॉस्पिटल है यहाँ बनाया गया है। यहाँ पर आगे भी हम चलेंगे, दिखाएंगे, क्योंकि एक डॉक्टर की लापरवाही की वजह से 7 लोगों की जान गई और जांच के आदेश भी हुए, लेकिन जांच में कुछ निकल नहीं रहा था। फिर राष्ट्रीय मानवाधिकार आयोग ने संज्ञान लिया। संज्ञान के बाद इस हॉस्पिटल के वो डॉक्टर जो कि अब फरार हैं, उनके खिलाफ अब जांच की जा रही है, उनके खिलाफ उनकी पड़ताल की जा रही है। लेकिन प्रशासन अब देर से जागा है, तो अब ऐसे में राष्ट्रीय मानवाधिकार आयोग की टीम आज पहुंचेगी और CMHO समेत तमाम लोगों से पूछताछ करेगी कि आखिर ऐसे डॉक्टर को इस हॉस्पिटल में नियुक्ति क्यों दी गई।
And that's all that we could pack in this edition of 6 Stories at 6. Thank you for watching. We'll be back same time tomorrow. Till then, stay tuned. Coming up next is Live and Breaking.
Who's responsible for the tragic death of our fighter jet